right, getting set up. All right, looks like the stream is live, so we will start working. So yesterday we were working on our debugger, Zig Debugger, and got to a point. Let's pull up the code here. Some of this is new from yesterday, but we got to a point where we were working on setting a breakpoint. And so here we have our code to set a breakpoint. And one of the pain points we got into, if we go to the man page for Ptrace, you'll see that, let's do peak data. So you look at the man trace for peak data, or peak text, or no. Yes, peak. You read a word from the address that you give it, and it passes it out as a part of the result. And what's wrong with that? Like, isn't that what we expect a function to do? Yes, but no. If you look at Ptrace, we don't get any data back with the call. And technically, this is still not, this isn't correct if you link to libc, and we'll get to there. So in Linux, it calls Ptrace. It does this error no thing, which is just getting the error number out from the return, because per the right here on return value, says on success, the Ptrace peak operations return the requested data. The Ptrace seccomp get filter operation returns the number of instructions in the BPF program. The Ptrace get syscall info operation returns the number of bytes available to be written by the kernel, and the other operations return 0. On error, all operations return -1. And error no, which in C and like the Linux programming interface, error no is this global, mutable global state that just gets set. So when an error happens, that'll get set, and you have to check the error number, and it's awful and terrible, and it's a bad system. But that's what happens. And it's like, suck. That really sucks, because, you know, I will have to link to libc to read the error number. Anyways, and I was looking through what Zig does. It did not make sense. Which is why you should always read the whole man page, because if you go down to the bottom, 4 bugs right here in the notes section, which hopefully it does say, but see notes. And I skipped that, so we do notes. Say, well, what are the notes? If you go down to C library kernel differences at system call level, which is what Zig does, it makes the request at the system call level. Ptrace peak text, peak data, and peak user have a different API. They store the results in the address specified by the data parameter, and the return value is the error flag. The glibc wrapper function provides the API given in description above, with the result being returned via the function return value. And that just tells me that glibc is awful, in this case at least. So as part of that, I've added this instruction here to the top of my code just to crash the compiler or generate a compiler error. If I ever so much as think as linking libc, I don't want it to compile, because I've now written this code in such a way that it expects it to work at the system call level, not at the not as glibc wraps it. And if we run my code here, let's see, yeah, we can see that we now have the starting instruction. You know, that there's where the instruction pointer is to start, and we have the instruction that we want to break on. And when we start, this is the bytes. These are the bytes there. at that spot, or at that address, sorry. In fact, if I do object dump, I would go to, what's the address? 1034B64. 1034B64. There we are. You'll see that 103406B4 test bin.main. Here we are. You'll see E8 17 000000. And if that looks familiar, there it is. We have E8 17 000000. So this is the instruction, and we actually got a little bit of the next instruction when we read it in, because we're using Intel, and the reason why is with Intel. Well, anyways, we're not going to get into that. But let's just say that the instructions, this isn't a RISC machine, it's a CISC, complex instruction set. And that means the instructions are not going to be all the same size. And you can see that, right? You have a 1 byte instruction here, 3 bytes. This is 4 byte instruction. We have some 7 byte instructions down here. Okay. Instructions give you different lengths. But Ptrace in the kernel is just going to return a word, and a word on my computer is 64 bytes. Or 64 bits, not bytes. 64 bits. Or 8 bytes. So I get 8, so I get the next, see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I should get the next, these ones. 6, 7, 8, these 3, I mean. And sure enough, E8, D2, 0, 1. E8, D2, and 0, 1. And it's interesting because you can see that it is E8. Must be in the instruction for call, because they are both call. So a little bit of assembly there for you. We'll stop there. So my goal today is to take this stuff here, where we set some breakpoints, and kind of turn this into an API that we could use. And it's going to be a lower level one, because eventually what we'll want to do is take the dwarf debug data that we get and be able to, find the exact lines and be able to say, hey, from this file at this line, I want to set a breakpoint, and like you do in a regular debugger. But for right now, we're going to set it at the address, the instruction address. So let's begin. So I have this libs directory, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this as a lib as, I don't know, like tracer. Let's call it tracer. And in it, we're going to do root.zig right now. Just going to move this all in here. So this would be tracer is low provides an API for making Ptrace calls and setting breakpoints and working with Ptrace. So I think the API that would be nice, the way it makes sense to me, is let's go back to here, I was going to turn this into, what I wish we had. There's right here, we start with a query about registers. Right here. We set a breakpoint right here. I copied this in for my own information here. I got to get rid of that comment, doesn't matter. And I think it would be nice to have something like a set breakpoint, right? So okay, so tracer.set breakpoint. Maybe we don't need that. And what it would do is do all this stuff for us. And so it would need to take in some address of the breakpoint, usize. So in this case, we break address. It would just set the breakpoint for us. And here we're not looping through, but we'd want to be able to this already tells us a lot of what we need to do, right? Because actually what's going to happen is we're going to have to set up some kind of object that maintains the state. Otherwise, we're going to have to return, right? Like, because part of the thing that happens here is we set the breakpoint, but we also have to, retain the old instruction so that we can replace the instruction when we hit the breakpoint. So often it's nice to, when you're thinking about how you want to code things, is you have this very basic, or not basic, but like have this really procedurally written code here. And now I'm thinking about how I'd like to actually interact with this, right? We can get rid of all these debug statements that were just being used to show that it was working. And we can see what kind of things happen. No, there are debuggers for Zig. Like, in fact, I was using one. I debugged this process. So you can use GDB or code LLDB. You can use LLDB, GDB. They'll both work for it. I just want to write one in Zig that also works for Zig. So I can show you here real quick. If I set my breakpoint right here, and whoops. Let's see. Oops. I get set up. Oops. You can see that it's oops. Let me restart this. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we are. And I want to set the args to be temp. Let's see. Sig out, bin, test. So I have to give it the, since I'm debugging a debugger, I have to give it the debug program that we're going to be debugging when we're debugging. Oh, I forgot to set a breakpoint. See, Zig out. There we go. So you can see I've got the debugger set up. It's going through and it's caught right here. Part of the problem is there are what's it called? Plugins you can use, I think, for LLDB. This is what I'm using, LLDB. Maybe it's for GDB that can help print things out nicely. But I want to learn how debuggers work, and then also make it so it can understand some Zigisms that you don't get in C, because the debugger I'm using is made for C++. But you can do things like here, I've got my debug REPL right here, and I can do things like I can print the instructions here. Oh, I haven't gotten there yet. Let's see what we have. Registers. So I could like print that, and I can, there we go, scroll up and see what's in the registers. You can see they're all zeros right now. Nothing in those registers except for here, there's the instruction register, stack pointer, a few other registers. They're good stuff. But yeah, so there are debuggers that work for Zig. I know most people use GDB or LLDB, but this will be a fun one. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Thank you. So that's right. We were working on setting up a the API. That's what we're doing. Let's add this. Or initial commit of lib. Okay. So when I think about setting the breakpoint, I mean, really, there's a lot, because that's not just there. We have to also handle this aspect here. We're going to fork it. When we fork the thing, we run this run target. And we call ptrace here. That really shouldn't affect it. That doesn't matter, like that we're calling ptrace on a child. It doesn't matter what happens here. So we could ignore that, because we're going to wait. It's just trying to figure out the right API design. Really, yeah, because we need this. We need to peek the instruction, then we need to trap the instruction. We don't need this. And then once we continue, right? Because what we could do is set a bunch of breakpoints. We need to keep track of all the breakpoints that have been set. And that would be like just a mapping of addresses to it might even be mapping. We could just say like have a breakpoint and just be a list, like an array of breakpoints. Let's do that right now. Let's see. So at a low level, oh. Well, thanks for the comments about the Zig videos. Yeah, I'm thinking I've been working on the next one about the arena allocator. I was studying up on it today, so hopefully we'll be able to get that out soon. Maybe I'll make one tomorrow. I don't know if I have time tomorrow with New Year's Day, but Thank you. I hope that they're helpful. And yeah, I don't come from a systems programming background myself. That's why it's been fun to learn and then explain and go through. So I'm glad they've been helpful. Let's see. Set breakpoint. We're going to take an address, and the address is going to be a usize, and it shouldn't return anything, though really it does need to, or make some adjustments to some stuff. So let's do import standard. Yeah, there aren't a lot of Zig resources yet. If you haven't gone to zigit.dev yet, I recommend it. This is a great tool for if you got questions. It's a great forum, lots of help. Andrew Kelly, like fuzz testing. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. You can see Andrew Kelly, who writes Zig. He comments occasionally and answers questions here, and so it's a good resource. You get access to a lot of people. Not like get access. It's a forum, but yeah, there are a lot of people who are working on Zig there. And full disclosure, I own Zigit, but it's pretty cool. Like a struct, actually. Yeah, we'll just do this for right now. Struct tracer. Yeah, it's a great website, I think. But once again, I'm a little biased, but we'll leave it at that, I guess. So for the tracer, I think we're gonna have the breakpoints. For now, we're gonna make this an array of breakpoints. Let's see, const struct. And so we'll need an address, size, and this is also usize. A breakpoint holds the data regarding a breakpoint. And we're going to say like, what is this? 2 usizes. We're going to say you're limited to, I don't know, 24 breakpoints. And it goes undefined. Well. Do this for now. There we go. And let's go back down here. In the name of consistency, we're going to change that to EDDR. Yeah. There. Okay. So we set the breakpoint. Set breakpoint at address returns I don't know that. that would return an optional bool or just a bool, right? And you should have it return an error void, right? Just have like a too many breakpoints error, but I don't know if that needs to be an error, so we could just handle it with being at null. And sorry, I just got a text I need to look at, but what was I talking about? Oh yeah, how the error message I want this to be. I think we just do bool. I know it's a terrible API choice. Just say like true if we set it, false if we were unable to set it because there's too much. If we're unable to set it, say false. So what we can then do is, we're gonna definitely have errors anyway, so why not just do void? Because we're gonna call ptrace and that can error out. So might as well just jump on those errors. Yank. Happy New Year. Thanks. Thank you. I'm enjoying making those videos. So I always like getting the support and the kind words from everybody. So it's always nice to hear. Happy New Year to yourself. Though, as you can see, I'm quite a few hours away from New Year's, but 9 hours away. Oh yeah, we need to move this ptrace struct out here. So what I'd been using is this. I'm gonna copy this. Oops, not cut. Yank that. Const built-in equals import built-in. Okay. Okay, ptext child PID. Oh, we need to have a yeah, we need to have it. I think here it makes sense to pass in the PID because eventually type is PID uside PID T PID T system.pidt. Okay. Const pidt equals standard.posix.system.pidt. Yeah, I think it makes sense to pass in the PID because eventually what I'd like is to have, have a nice debugger that can also easily, ergonomically debug multi-threaded or multi-processes, multi-threaded code. And so we'll need to be able to set breakpoints per PID. And I don't know, maybe eventually this will change how tracer works and you have one tracer for each thread. That makes sense to me. And then you just pick the right PID. Yeah, you'd pick the right, traced thread. That sounds like a good idea, like a good abstraction to make it work, but we'll see. It'd be good to also figure out how we can, like, it'd be cool to have it eventually be able to do well with async code, but right now async doesn't work in Zig, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so here we get the instruction. And oh, we did this to take self. It's a pointer to a tracer, because it's going to need a modified self. And for now, we're going to just do breakpoints. We're going to do some, like, oh my goodness. So, U8. There we go. I'll use size. Why not? Okay. So what we can then do is we get the instruction. Then we can do, we've now peeked the text. Oops. So what we'll want to do is we can actually create the breakpoint. So we're going to, well, we want to set the breakpoint first. So we need to, we're going to have this code here. Instruction pointer. Here we are. We need to make the trapped address. I don't like this. Because it's hard coded right now to be, 64 bits like my computer. Which, I mean, if you're running a 32-bit machine, I'm just kidding. I know there's a lot of embedded stuff that this would work for embedded because it requires you have Ptrace. But it would be nice to make this not a constant, or at least not some magic number. Maybe we'll get to that in a second. Let's see. Break instruction. I hate that name. Well, let's copy this real quick. So I have this here. We're gonna set this to be the break instruction, and I'm gonna say like, break int 3 on, right now this is for x, I think x86, or int 3 is the command to trap. Int 3. Okay. Oh, hey, how's it going? Vertical thinking. How was your Christmas? Thanks for tuning in. It was good? Good. I hope everything's going well for you. Excited to talk to you offline later. Well, it'll always be online, but off of stream. How are your projects going along? Ninth one, nice. Nice. Have am I still catching up to you on the subscriber counts, or I'm at, what was it? I didn't check last. I think we're at almost 300, which is awesome. $330. Nice. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. I love what you're doing. If you haven't, by the way, just a plug, maybe this will get him to make another video, but if you haven't watched Vertical Thinking's videos, he's got some good videos on philosophy if you enjoy philosophy. I found one I'll need to send to you to watch. So check out his channel. Don't take them down. How will I listen to them again and again? You can also listen to his podcast. Okay. This is all coming together here. Actually quite like streaming because it keeps me, I know it might seem I'm a little distracted, but it keeps me focused. I'd be so much more distracted if I was just trying to work by myself. Hey, Happy New Year too, by the way. Yeah, now we've trapped the instruction. Trace, now we want to do self dot breakpoints. Oh, we should check. We need to check when we set the breakpoint. If count, if self dot breakpoints dot length is greater than, or is count breakpoints, turn error dot too many breakpoints. I'll have to clean up our errors here in a bit, but now we've assured that we've got enough room. Actually, should never happen because this would crash the program. But we'll say if length is greater than, oh no, it's less than or equal to count breakpoints. Here we go. So we're going to set that breakpoints dot. So we do, oops. Self dot count breakpoints plus equals 1. Self dot breakpoints, hate that name too, equals, and it is dot adder is going to be adder. Instruction is going to be instruction. undeclared use of self dot. Okay. That will poke the, yep. Oh, you know what? Maybe this would be better as a hash map, but we're not going to do that. Since we're limited to 24 breakpoints right now, we're not going to care. But technically, we don't know. We set a breakpoint, but we don't know which one's going to get actually hit first. And so every time we hit a breakpoint, we'd have to go through the whole list and match. Excuse me, got the hiccups, but that'll be fine. So maybe we can see if this works. I think we've got everything we need to set breakpoints. So let's do this. First, I think I need to get lib built. I'll need that one, but what I do need is this into the build.zig. All the different steps. So part of the exe, I need to see const tracer mod b dot add module tracer dot target equals target dot optimize equals optimize dot root source file equals libs. What am I doing? Source file libs tracer root.zig. exe.add add dependency, add module, add what does it say here? Module. To use, see, captures, benchmarking. I know it was in here in the docs. Where is it? How to package there. It is a source module and how to use it. So you create lib source, and so you're going to say optimize, add module, speak. So add module might not be what I want to use. How to use the package. P dependency Zig speak. Load the dependency from, see, I don't want to do, I'm going to skip that. Maybe. Executable. Add import. Okay, add import. Add import. Tracer. See if this builds. I think it's the private module. See if that builds. Nope, did not like. Didn't like. Expected lazy path found. Oh. Okay. There we go. I like that. Okay. Did that build? No, did not like it either. Expected type lazy path struct found const. CW relative. That's the one we want. CW relative. All right. Ah, okay. The main undeclared identifier temp instruction. Did I delete temp? I deleted it. I deleted it because I was, okay, yeah. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need to set registers. Okay. Okay, so everything built. What we're going to do is now const tracer equals add import tracer. See if that builds. Shouldn't change anything because I'm not actually using it. So, okay. Now let's take this and keep break address because we need that for everything. But what we'll do is get rid of this code here. Retrap the instruction. We've got trace t equals const. Nope. Bar t equals tracer dot tracer fact idiomatically, possibly in the future it's going to need to be like that. Now it's going to be mad because don't need that. We'll get to that in just a second. Tracer trace.set breakpoint. The address is going to be break address child PID. And it's still mad because I have an instruction here. So what we're going to do is do tracer and cheat.break, or no, trace breakpoints 0 dot instruction. What is it not like? Tracer is not marked pub. Well, we can fix that. Pub. Consider using try. No. I will consider it. Consider it considered. It's a good sign. Okay. So this all worked. It shouldn't crash. Oh, and it did. Segmentation fault. Let's see. Then debug print test message. GDB. Let's see. Interesting. Did I spell breakpoints wrong? Let's go back to my debugger here. Something here. N of the N of the S. The N. Trapped instruction. Okay. Wait, stopped. Read the registers. We should be resetting the breakpoint instruction. Trace breakpoints. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh, there's your problem. All right. Yeah. Duh. Obviously I'm trying to get first breakpoint, but when I increment the count of the breakpoints before I set the breakpoint instruction. That was dumb. Okay. So now it's a 3. Yeah. Now that should work. Did I not save this? Okay, let's make sure it builds. Okay, now it should work. There we go. Perfect. I did delete a lot of those messages. That helped show it worked. So I mean, we could add some logging in here. Don't really want to add logging. Don't really want to add logging. Not here. We could add some back here. Something like standard.debug print set breakpoint star r dot r there, and we'll just say that will be trace dot breakpoints 0. What do you not like about that? Oh, missing brace. That's what you don't like about it. Set breakpoint. There we go. Should always end with a new line. Set the breakpoint there. We should get now a construction point here. Poke the text, and we set the registers. Okay. So we've got setting breakpoints down. What do we need? As part of this, we need to set breakpoints. We need to be able to move, step past the breakpoint, do the unset, reset, dance. Because when we move past the breakpoint, if we're going to keep that breakpoint there, we have to first unset it, step, reset, step. And so we need a good API around that. What else do we want? We need something like toggle or unset breakpoint. And wow, can do something like unsets. In fact, it might be nice if the set breakpoint returned the ID of the breakpoint. But yeah, I don't know. Do we want it to really be at the address? That might be the nicest thing to do, though. All right, looking at the time, I've been streaming for about an hour, which I know is not long for lots of streamers, but I do have to close up shop today. So thanks for all those who've watched. I'm going to close up, and you have a great rest of your day. Have a great New Year's.